Hey guys, how's it going? We are back inside yet again for another Q&A. And so it's going to be kind of a mellow week. We're actually only going to be putting out this video and I think one other video as of now. For the week, we're going to, I think, just take the week of New Year's and have a very peaceful beginning New Year. So that's the way I want the year to start out, is peaceful, mellow. And so I'm actually going to be working my day job. I'll be at the barber shop New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do both jobs for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And so we're going to take it off and we're going to just chill and have a very mellow week. I'm very excited about it. So just that heads up that there's only going to be the video you are currently watching and a video that is going to come out tomorrow. So I am sorry about that, but we are very excited. So before we get into it, let's say a huge thank you to the Community Spotlight members. These are the most active members of this week, including top commenters and the most engaged audience members. So first one would be Judy McCarrow, and I think I said a special thank you to you last week. Rhonda Shank, and she has been in, I think, every single week. Then there is Darlene, Yvonne, and Stephanie. So thank you guys for being the top members this week, and I'm loving being able to see who's like the most engaged audience members and how it just kind of keeps changing with people. I think it's very exciting. It's a lot of fun. So thank you guys for all being here, and to everyone else, a huge thank you to you also for being here. So let's get into this week's videos. This week we took one day off, and so all we did was the Q&A, which was the my sister's treatment update, and does Brent buy anything when we go shopping, and then come shopping with us, which was me and Jalen, for a terrarium that we put together in the next video. And then it was making a quick bread and chili, and it was a amazing bread. We ate the entire loaf in, I think it was like 24 hours. So the first video was the Q&A from last week. The first question on that video is from Dennis, and they had said, if you were in Losmo, do you know Madonna? She has Eastside Flower Farm on 2nd Avenue. She had a beauty shop and sells plants. Have you been hitting the Corning and Red Bluff leave a plant, take a plant stands? I didn't know we had leave a plant, take a plant stands, so I'll probably have to check those out. I always think that those are really cool. If you don't know what they are, it's somebody who will set up a stand, usually in their like driveway or whatever, and it's a leave a plant, take a plant, or leave a cutting, take a cutting. And you bring rooted cuttings and you can drop them off, or you can bring plants and drop them off, or you can take some plants. So they're really cool. It's just kind of a trade thing and to do it in the community. And yes, I don't know Madonna personally, but we do follow each other on Instagram, and I do enjoy seeing her stuff. It's actually really nice because she does flower farming, which is something that I love to do. And so I follow her, and I kind of follow a lot of her guidance for when I need to start things, because she's been doing it for years in this area. So she knows a lot of like, okay, it's time to start this. And so yes, I follow Madonna from Eastside Flower Farming, and that's how she starts all of her videos. Hey, it's Madonna from Eastside Flower Farming, and I think she's like the sweetest person ever. So one of these days I need to like make it out to her property and go check it out. She did a seedling sale and a plant sale this year, and she sells her cut flowers, and she seems like a really cool person. So I do need to meet her at some point. The next question on that video is from Car Chavs. I don't know how to pronounce it. And they go, is it just me or does anyone else want to prune that yellow leaf on the pothos behind Robbie? Okay, I thought that I had gotten it. There was like 4 of them. Okay, so I'm gonna apologize for that. It's gone now. I also switched sides, so there's no yellow leaves over here. I brought this beautiful fern over here just for you guys. And the previous Q&A that we had filmed inside, I went through and I pulled all of the pothos, like the dead leaves off of it, so you guys wouldn't see any. And like the thing sits directly in front of like our AC vent, so it dries out and like drops leaves all the time. So it's really not a great spot for it, but I need something green right there. So I'm sorry. I fully planned to get rid of all of the dead leaves and like yellow leaves that were on it. I don't know how I missed that one. The last question on that video was from Jessica, and she had said, I've read pros and cons of washing the bloom off of eggs with hot water versus cold water. What do you do to clean your eggs? We don't clean them until we go to use them, so usually they sit on the counter inside in like a basket. Unless it is like a really poopy egg, then it gets washed off. But if it's not like a super dirty egg, then we'll just kind of like leave it on the counter and we leave the bloom on it. And then when we go to use it, then I wash it, and we just use a sponge and we use dish soap. And also, if you can hear Freya, she is livid. She is staring at me right now over the couch because I won't let her inside. Poor Freya. I'm so sorry. She does this all the time. The next video that we did was come shopping with us. We totally scored, and that was Jay and I doing a whole bunch of shopping, and it was a lot of fun. You guys got to come with us, and we ran a couple errands. We went like Home Goods, we went to Target, we went to Lowe's, and we went to the Plant Barn. So we went to a lot of places, and we got some good stuff. First question on that video was from Janie, and she had said, "Who is your guest? You didn't introduce." That is Jalen. That is my little sister. She is 17 now, and so she's my little baby sister, my little baby angel. And that's my sister. I kind of forget to like introduce sometimes, and so I do it one time, and then like I never do it again, and I am sorry about that. The next question on that video was from Sandy, and she had said, "Hi Robbie and Jalen. It was fun shopping with the both of you. I like the vessel you're going to use and all of the plants you picked out. Question. Will the Venus flytrap eat? Will you need to catch flies for it? And how will the white cactus do with the succulents? Just curious. The ornaments and gifts you bought will be nice. I bet that Mason loved his gifts. I'm looking forward to the video when you plant everything. Merry Christmas to you both. Brent, Freya, Sadie, and all of your families. Thank you so much for sharing." I hope you had a good holiday too. I hope everyone had good holidays. Whatever you celebrate, I hope it was all amazing. And then, so the Venus flytrap is going to have to eat. I told Jalen, I said, if you just casually catch flies in your house, I said, just throw it in the vessel. I don't know. So it does have to be fed. She will have to feed it. So I just told her, I said, as you catch bugs, just throw it in the vase. So she's fully prepared to do that. And then the white cactus doing with the succulents. My goal when I go to water it is to be very precise with watering. So I will water the areas more where the succulent roots are and not so much where the cactus are. I'll kind of make those roots have to spread out and have to go find water. So that's kind of the plan with that one. So it should be pretty easy. And the last question on that video is from Connie, and she had said, "Your sister is adorable. Love the succulent haul. What is the age difference between you two?" We are 13 years apart. Yeah, so I was an accident and she was an accident. There was only one of us that was planned. Well, okay, that's gonna confuse some people. So I have to say, I have one full biological sister, Kailani, the one that you guys have met, who I've talked about with like cancer treatment. She is my full biological sister. Jalen is my half sister. We all share a mother. And then who you guys have actually seen, who I've introduced as my mother, is not my biological mother. That is my adopted mother. We're gonna get real deep. We're gonna explain everything, so get out a pen and paper. So Katie, who you guys have met, we did seed starting last year. That is my adopted mother. I was adopted, not legally, when I was 16. And then she has 2 daughters, so those are my adopted sisters, and that is Nina and Hannah, and I went to Hannah's wedding in Texas, and so who I call mom, lives in Texas. That is not Jalen's mom or Kailani's mom. Yeah. So I hope that explains a little bit of something like that. So confusing, right?
I don't know if that helped.
I don't know if it helped either. Okay, we're moving on. The next video that we did was putting everything together. That was the terrarium and the succulent bowl. And it was fun to be able to put it all together and like hang out with Jalen and just like sit and do it all together. We did it and it was late in the evening. It was dark out. And so it was a fun little like evening project to do. We made a mess in the house though, I will say that. The first question on that video is from Carmen, and she had said, "Hello, Robbie and Brent. Also, hi, Jay. What a fun video, guys. The terrarium turned out so beautiful. You two did a great job arranging the plants. They look amazing. Question, what are you going to do with the remaining plants? Are you planning on planting them in different pots? You know, the tropical plants with very little roots can be placed in water and roots will grow. Just saying, since Jay really liked it. Doesn't she have to feed the carnivorous plant since it's in the jar?" Yeah, she will. So I actually hadn't thought about rooting it because I know about this much about houseplants. And like barely this much, like on a good day. So I don't know a whole lot about them. So I didn't know that you could root that one. So I actually still have all of the plants, even that one. I put all of them in one of those cardboard boxes. I piled up some soil and I got the soil a little bit wet, and I went ahead and just shoved them all in the dirt until I can figure out what I want to do with them, because I would like to do another project with them. So they are all sitting aside, all the succulents, all the little pieces, anything that broke off, it's all sitting aside waiting. It's under grow lights, ready to go for when I decide to do another project this winter time. The next question on that video is from Jane Troby, and she had said, did you drill a hole in the chamber pot? Everything looks great. I did not drill a hole in the chamber pot. I actually have a couple containers that don't have holes in them. So things like this, that's a fern that does require a lot of water, I usually don't put holes in. I have another container that does not have a hole in the bottom of it. I actually had filmed a video. It was like one of the very first videos that was on my channel. I don't even know if it's on my channel anymore. I might have like hidden it. And I knew that people would be mad at me if I didn't drill a hole in it. And so I totally lied. I said, yep, I drilled a hole in the bottom of this planter, and I never did. And the plants have been in there now for I think 3 years. No holes, no drainage. You just kind of get a feel for it, like how much water things actually need, which when there's no holes and it's like a porcelain container, you actually need way less water. It's really nice. So for me, containers that don't have holes and containers that are porcelain are so much more hands-off, especially in the summertime. They don't dry out as fast. I don't have to think about them as fast. And so this fern is going to do so much better in here than it would in a terracotta pot, which is what I would have traditionally planted something like this in, where it just wicks away the moisture. So I did not drill a hole in my beautiful chamber pot. It is going to sit in a little bit of water and the fern will be totally fine like that. The next question on that video is from Peggy, and she had said, whoa, they are both amazing and totally different. Question, I know you said Jalen would need to water at most every 6 weeks, but what about yours, Robbie? Mine is probably also about every 6 weeks. With succulents, they need more water than cactus. Cactus and succulents, people tend to get them confused. So they still do need water, but there's no drainage in that container either. So at most every 6 weeks, and it's not going to need a whole lot of water. So I'm going to be pretty selective about how often it gets water. Also depending at where I keep it in the house. If I keep it in the guest room with like the grow lights on it, it'll be fine for probably like 2 months realistically. And if I keep it out here in like the living room or the dining room, there's an AC vent that kind of blows right where I would normally keep it. And so it's probably going to need water a little bit more often. And the last question on that video was from Janet, and she had said, do you have to water initially? Yes, but that soil was all mostly kind of wet. It wasn't like sopping wet, and I don't want too much water in there. So I didn't water those ones in just because the soil was already kind of wet. Especially on Jalen's, her containers, her plants were really, really wet. I think they had just gotten water at Lowe's. So we didn't water those ones. And the succulents that I had, most of those were pretty wet. So I didn't water any of those, and I just kind of used my judgment on that. There's been projects where I have to like go soak the plants because the plants are so bone dry before I even start using them. And then so I won't water them because I watered them before I even started using them. So it's kind of like one of those projects where you have to use your judgment. You don't want too much water in your terrarium, but you also don't want no water in there. So like a true terrarium would be one that you could like put the lid on it and it would be sealed tight. You never have to open it. It's a full ecosystem. And eventually like there is like bugs that go in there that break down the entire thing, like little like micro bugs, and they go in and they break down all of the leaves that fall off your plant, and you have enough water in there where it'll be humid in there, and then it kind of like rains down inside your terrarium. So you're creating a small little ecosystem. Jalen's wasn't sealed, so she will have to water it like at the very most every 6 weeks. Like she could probably go 2 to 3 months without watering that thing realistically. And it doesn't need much water at all. It's really just gonna be like a little top off to make sure that it's staying nice and humid in there. And the last video that we did was making a quick bread and chili. Yum. And the chili is all gone and the bread was gone within 24 hours. And it was a great, easy bread recipe. It's just a lot of waiting. First question on that video is from Maya, and she had said, hi Robbie, do you think that if you grew mahogany slender hibiscus inside, it would bloom? Maybe it could be treated as a houseplant. I don't quite know about that because it wants full sun, and it takes my full hot afternoon sun, no problem. I can't cut on it during the afternoon. I can't even cut on it late morning because it'll wilt. But when it's growing in the landscape, it has no problem doing hot, hot, hot full afternoon sun and like a lot of light. So I think that it wouldn't do too well indoors. I think it's blooming now because it is stressed, and it's like, if I don't produce seed, I'm going to die, which is what plants do, is they produce seed because they're trying to reproduce and continue on. And so I think that's what's happening with that. I've had it bloom now. This is the second year, and only indoor have I gotten blooms. So I think that's part of what it is it's trying to just like produce a little bit of seed. So I don't know if you'd be able to grow it indoors unless you like had like one of those really strong grow lights, and even then it might be a little questionable. It might be a little leggy. The next question on that video is from Monica, and she had said, Robbie, I can't get my mahogany splendor hibiscus to grow. What's your secret? I grow mine from cuttings and from seed. So I've had mine, this one I'm going to winter over to next year, and this one that I actually grew from seed for this year. Full sun, as much sun as you can give it, lots of water. It's going to be slow to grow when you get it in the ground, and then it's going to take off. And it needs to go into the ground as soon as possible if you don't have a long growing season. So that's very important. You have to have like a decent growing season. So like those of you that are like Canada, Michigan, I feel like that's a little questionable. Like it needs to go like before you have your last frost, it needs to be like ready to go, and you want to make sure you have some like size on it so that way it can take off when you actually get it in the landscape. And it will die back in the winter, and it's not going to come back. It's just an annual, unless you're in zone like 10 or something like that. The next question on that video is from Joey, and he had said, what kind of can opener do you have? I've been looking for one like that. My grandmother actually got us that one, and it's kind of a pain to use, and she has the exact same one, and she can't use it. She has my grandpa use it because she can't figure out how to use it. So it's weird. It like latches on, and then you have to twist it. But it's kind of a pain. My sister actually, she came and she house sat for us, and she hated the can opener. So for Christmas, my sister Nina, she's getting married soon. She bought us a electric can opener. She's like, if I ever come house sit for you again, she goes, I'm not using that thing. So I will link the can opener that we have and the one that we just got. I will put both of those in the description down below. And the next question on that video is from Dorothy, and she had said, hello, Robbie and Brent. What kind of fancy fridge do you guys own that appears to be showing family photos? It is the worst fridge ever. It is a Samsung fridge, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it's the only one that has like a tablet on the screen. And we bought it because Brent is super into like technology and things like that. And this one, like you're able to like connect your phone to your fridge, and it has cameras inside the fridge. So, like if you're at the grocery store and you're like, ooh, are we out of milk? Are we out of mustard? You can pull up the cameras and you can see inside the refrigerator. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we've used that feature one time. We've had the fridge for 7 years, and there was a class action lawsuit against this specific fridge for Samsung because the ice maker doesn't work. We have to put we were having to put a blow dryer inside the refrigerator, inside the freezer area, because the ice maker would have freeze over. It was just like the worst fridge ever, so I do not recommend it. We probably will never buy a Samsung fridge ever again because there's been so many like issues with it, and so many people have had terrible things to say about it. We actually just got an ice maker for Christmas, and we were having to buy bags of ice, which is insane. I mean, it's cool that we have the tablet on there, and it's nice that it like scrolls through with family photos and all of that. It's really cool, but I would rather at this point just buy one of those like picture frames, those digital picture frames for ourselves, and have a fridge that actually works, right? Yeah, it's terrible. Don't recommend. The next question on that video is from Barbara, and she had said, I've never had corn in my chili before. Is that a regional thing? I think that might be a Robbie thing. So this chili recipe, I just kind of like came up with one evening. We were home, we were broke. I think I had like $10, and I had some chicken breast, and I had some broth, and I had some beans, and I had some corn, and some taco seasoning, and I just threw everything into a container and called it chili. So a lot of you guys had questions about the chili, like, what's up with the corn and the chili? I've never done this before, I've never done that before, I've never heard of this in chili. Why are you using taco seasoning, not chili seasoning? I don't know, I just made it up, and it tasted good. And now I have multiple people that have like taken the recipe and they actually make it all the time. So she's like one of my best friends, her name's Tara. She makes it, her mother makes it. And so there's a lot of people now that make Robbie's chili. I don't know. The next question on that video is from Val Auto Lady, and she had said, I don't cook as much as I used to, but man, I do love making bread. Chili is one of my favorite things to make in the winter. Are you the main meal maker at home, or does Brent enjoy cooking as well? Brent hates cooking. It is not his thing, and I used to love to cook. When we had our other house, we had a very open floor plan, and it was nice. We had a really big kitchen. I had a kitchen island. We had good counter space. We had a gas range. It was like the perfect setup for me. It was everything I wanted. I had a beautiful chandelier in the kitchen, and we bought this place, and I hate this kitchen, so it makes me not want to be in there at all. So I do not cook as much as I do, or as I used to, because I don't enjoy cooking here. So I don't cook as much, but I do love to cook. And when I do cook, I think it's really good, and I've had other people say it's really good. So I do enjoy it. I hate this kitchen. I really hate this kitchen. So that's another reason I want to move. And the next question on that video is from, okay, I'm going to butcher this because I don't speak Spanish very well. It's crazy because I work in a all Hispanic barbershop. You think I would. Plantas y reyes? Plantas y reyes? I'm butchered that, sorry. They had said, looks amazing. What size pot do you have? Do you find that size to be the most versatile? This is my pot. I have the Le Creuset. This is the 4.5 quart or 4.2 liter. And this is the one that I actually have two of the exact same one. I find this to be the best size. I think any bigger than this, it's a little too big and a little too heavy. Smaller than this is kind of hard. I would fill it up easily. So I personally like this one. I like this size. I will link the one that I currently have, and I will link one that is a more affordable brand by Lodge. That's the other one that I know that's really good. And I also, somebody had told me that there's one by Crock Pot that is also a enamel lined cast iron that is really good. That is even cheaper than the Lodge brand. And they said it's really, really nice. So I will link to all three of those in the description down below. And the last question is from Judy, and she had said, doesn't sugar feed the yeast? And yes, but it can also feed on just flour. So it's not like super important. I mean, it's kind of important, but not like super important. So like if you don't do it, it's fine, but you can do it and it will feed it. And I think it helps it a little bit better. Yeah. And so that, my friends, is all that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you all have been enjoying your winter break. I'm about to go enjoy our New Year winter break and spend some time disconnecting. And it's going to be really, really nice. I just smacked my face with my own hand. We're doing great over here. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.